Get after for 6, 8 seconds. Guys, this is what we had to get. This ain't the one we want. You got that ball! You got that ball!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of the Laurel Leader Call Sports Show. I'm your host, Jack Fairchilds, and sitting alongside Kevan Lindsey and our good friend and yours, Josh Guru Nichols. Super Bowl week, guys, so it's an exciting week. It's also it's an exciting week for sports, even if Guru's not necessarily big on the NFL, but I think he does have a team that he favors in this game. Not the Saints, who you predicted, but we'll get to that when we get to the previews. Also, we're sitting on the early we're sitting on the eve of the start of high school soccer playoffs. We're going to talk about that some. We'll do some previews there as well. And we've got Kevin is going to give us a recap on a basketball game that he was at last night. So there's just a couple of things before we go. We've talked about how the soccer playoffs was delayed for a week. It was delayed 1 week, Kevin, because of the ice storm up north. What have you been able to find out? Is soccer playoffs still scheduled to be a go for the 10th? Is basketball playoffs going to be affected by the ice storm up north?
Yeah, so first of all, I haven't heard anything about basketball. Mainly just focused on our guys down south. It doesn't look like anything drastic is going to change with basketball because you still have district championships and stuff like that, the district championship tournaments and things like that. So I think they're good, and being inside in a gym, obviously, I think they should be fine. Soccer, I really haven't spoken, I'll be honest, haven't spoken to any of our coaches, but I did talk to someone associated with one of the teams, and they told me that they were really worried about the north side for soccer, because obviously we're in the south, ours is pretty well over with. But if you know way up north, especially when you get closer to Tennessee, those teams up there that have soccer teams, there's still some in a pickle from what I understand. And like I said, I haven't heard of them delaying anything or anything like that, but I do think it's something, if you're a soccer fan, to potentially keep an eye on. Because from what I understand, they don't want to start the south and delay the north, because then you'll have a break. You'll have this gap, right?
Yeah, you'll have a reverse delay for the south, because then they'll have to wait on the north.
Yep.
Right. And then you don't want to push games where the kids are playing like back to back or anything like that. So it's kind of hairy right now, I think, a little bit. But I feel like, with all that said, I feel like they're still going to do the 10th as far as playoffs. You may have a few games that may get moved down south where it's a neutral site. I know we've had some times before where I think it was Northeast went to play at Wayne County because Wayne County's soccer season was over with. So they just played on that AstroTurf field, right? The artificial turf field. I think that happened a couple of years ago. So you may be in a situation where a home team maybe just says, hey, we're going to go to a neutral site. Maybe they come down.
I think you're going to have to see that up north a good deal, and potentially down there, because we got overnight, over a half inch of rain. I know talking with Northeast Jones boys coach Casey Strew that he said in the past 2 weeks, and this was on Monday, in the past 2 weeks, his boys had been on the field like a total of a couple of hours in a 2 week period. And then we just started drying out, and then here comes another half inch of rain.
It's crazy, and again, we'll be keeping an eye on it. We're excited for the potential start of the soccer playoffs, and if you go and look at the bracket, I think you can see examples of why the North, we don't know much, because you see a couple of TBAs on the bracket, which tells you that those regions have not been decided yet, and they're all on the north side. So that's why we still have a question mark. We believe the 10th is still a go because maybe they can get away with dry fields and have enough power for lights that they can have the games this weekend and we can have a full bracket by then. But at any rate, when we get to our previews and stuff, we're going to act like playoffs are going to start next week.
For example, Jack, because I just saw it looking at our schedule. You take a Warren Central and Saltillo. I know Warren Central is probably okay, but at Saltillo, they're still recovering. I mean, that's where my girl's family's from.
Vicksburg got hit by the ice storm too, because I'm born and raised from Vicksburg. Still got friends there, and one of my good friends, she didn't get power back until that Thursday. So I know that they were affected, but obviously, and even if they weren't affected, they're affected right now because they don't know they're playing yet.
Yeah, you got Center Hill, Greenville. You got Saltillo, Ridgeland. I mean, there's just looking at games.
That's just 6A.
Yeah. Right, yeah, just looking at games on here that I'm seeing. Pontotoc, I mean, they're still, Pontotoc is, their whole county was without.
Yeah.
So,
same with Lafayette.
Yeah, Corinth.
Lafayette has a bye, at least on the boys' side, I think it is. They may not after that. So they not necessarily are going to be affected if you have a bye, but at the same time, it's a dicey situation at the moment.
Safety first. I'm more worried about people getting their power on and not freezing for a soccer,
Yep. Well, Kevin, you went to a basketball game last night at South Jones. Tell us what you saw. Give us kind of a recap of the game last night, because you said it was pretty exciting.
Man, oh man, was it exciting. I just want to say, Laurel and South Jones, I know you went for football season to that game. Highly competitive game all the way around. And then basketball, I think it's translated completely to basketball. I was in the Ville on the reservation, and much like it was whenever these two teams met at Laurel, it came down to the wire. And this one was a 63-59 game. South Jones came out on top. You had 4 Braves in double digits. Jonathan McKenzie, he ended the night with 14 points. Tamaj Harris for Laurel, he had 16 points. You had 3 Laurel players in double digits. 63-59 literally came down to the last minute of the game. Laurel was behind, came storming back, pulled within, I think, 2 or 3 with just a few seconds to go. I don't know who it was. I wish I could remember. I think I still have it on video. And it's something I don't want to make fun of any player.
Yeah.
But I honestly, it was on the other end. I don't know what happened. Laurel went to inbound the ball, and the player had the ball and just dropped it, and it went out of bounds. And I mean, he hit his knees. Like he knew, like, oh my goodness. But he had the ball. I don't think he was touched. I think he may have been the ball.
No, I was watching it. Somebody was Facebook Live it, and I don't know if he was unsure if it was time to, basically start the possession and inbound the ball. I think he got a little confused there. It may have slipped out of his hand.
Yeah.
Where the lady was sitting where she was filming was kind of hard to tell, but he wasn't touched or anything like that. The ball came out of his hands. It lands on the ground out of bounds where he's standing. Yeah. And, I mean, he was in possession of it. He dropped it, and it was a tough break.
Yeah, just it was a physical game from start to finish, all the way through. South Jones put pressure on Laurel from the moment they got the ball, all the way down the court. Same way, both ways. I talked to Coach McCormick after the game, South Jones' boys coach, and he was just excited about the game in general. He was like, man, this reminded me of like 90s basketball. Crowd reverb off the walls. I mean, it was just, dude, it was unreal. And he even said it. I'm not saying it. He said it. And it's something that I'm glad it didn't affect the end of the game. But he's like, man, there were some questionable calls. And he said, I just want to say it was both sides. He said it was just as much for or against Laurel as it was for or against South Jones. Yeah. He said it was just questionable. He said, I understand, and he prefaced it by this. It was a physical game, and he didn't want to just, down the referees, but he was like, there was just some things that he said, I was over there with Coach Pettis agreeing with him how bad it was.
Was it like not calling some of the physical
I think
play,
there
or
was
was it
some
calling ticky-tack?
I think there was some non-calls, and then it was like there wasn't a balance.
Yeah.
If you're going to play a physical game and you're going to call them. But if you're going to call a loose game,
let it be loose.
Let it be loose throughout the game. Like I said, I don't think it affected the last couple of minutes in crunch time. But boy, they had an off night. Meanwhile, the girls, not much to say. Laurel girls, man, they just continue to do what they're doing. Kyra Jones for South Jones, she was the lone productive member for the Lady Braves. She had 15 points. Really good performance by her, honestly.
What was the final score in that game?
It was 72-25. It was 27-2 after the first quarter.
So they had one player for South score over 50% of their buckets. Wow.
Yeah. Meanwhile, for Laurel, you had 5 tornadoes with double digits. Graceland Carmichael, she had a great game, 17 points. Kaylis Walker, both seniors. Kaylis had 16 points. So shout out to Graceland Carmichael and her daddy, city council president. We were hightailing it from the city council meeting to the game.
Did y'all carpool?
We almost did. We met up at the same time.
We got a police escort.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah,
we might know a few.
Right.
Well, and I tell you, one thing, it's no disrespect to the South Jones girls. They're just down right now. But this is something that over the past decade plus has flip-flopped. You could go back 10 years ago and you would have seen a similar outcome when Laurel played South Jones, when Coach Cooley was the head coach at South Jones, putting that type of dominant game
It's almost
against
like
Laurel.
she's a good coach.
Huh?
It's almost like she's a good coach.
She's a good coach. She's a great coach.
Possibility.
One of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
Well, how did this game affect? I know we've got the. Do they still, since they switched from district, do they still call it the district tournament, or is it the region tournament?
It's
technically
the region tournament, but I think
how does this affect the region?
Every coach is called.
I have
we
not
still call it
talked to one coach this year in any sport that has used the word region.
Yeah, because it's district.
So South Jones. I'll start with the boys because it's pretty easy for.
Yeah,
the
we
girls.
don't have to get it because we know
girls are
Laurel's
defeated.
the one seed and South's pretty much out.
As far as the boys go, South is all but a lock for the 2. Because they got technically upset. I know we talked about this, but they got defeated by South Pike. South Pike's the
North Pike.
Sorry, North Pike. Ooh, if I said that in Macomb, it would be a brawl. No, North Pike's the 1 seed, and then South Jones is the 2 seed. Coach Rashidi said that he's hoping that North Pike gets upset, and that would then swing things South Jones's way.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, they're pretty much the 2 seed. What sucks for Laurel is if they would have beaten South, it would have put them with the same region record, district record, and then they would have had a better shot. But right now, they're the 5 seed.
And if they had won, wouldn't they have had the tiebreaker because they would have beat South twice, right?
Yes, they would have had the tiebreaker. So what this does is this puts Laurel, who I think is a great team, this puts them with no guaranteed playoff spot. So they're going to have to advance in the district tournament to like a playoff spot. You're 1 and 2 seeds across everything. You get a bye in the district tournament, and you're locked in. So, just for instance, Northeast Jones, I want to say the boys and the girls. I know for sure the girls. Just seeing a post from Coach Summerall. The girls at Northeast, they locked themselves in as a 2 seed. So they're guaranteed a playoff spot. And let me just say this. Northeast Jones girls won a whole total of 2 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're locked themselves in as a 2 seed in a what we would describe as a stronger classification from 4A. Yeah, what a phenomenal job what those girls have done. If you want to latch on to a Cinderella story around here, that's the one. So great job for them. But yeah, the boys are South Jones pretty much locked into a 2 seed. They're locked into a playoff spot, so they have a chance to go back to the big house again.
And we'll be more in depth on next week's show once we get basketball, the district tournament rolling and stuff. But that's fascinating to see, you know, because again, just goes to show one game can have that impact, and South took advantage of it. Let's move forward to our soccer playoff preview, because we've got a few teams in the playoffs. 3 of our 4 local teams are in the playoffs on both the boys and the girls side. We'll start on the girls side as Old Brook is traveling to Northeast Jones. Funny enough, that's also the matchup on the boys side, is Old Brook traveling to Northeast Jones. This Northeast Jones squad, you know, I've seen them play once. Kevin, I think you've seen them a couple of times. They're really a young but scrappy bunch, and they were the 2 seed, correct?
Yeah.
So, I mean, for them to be able to pull that off, especially with all those coast teams that they have to go through to get that 2 seed, I think that's a great accomplishment for them. And being at home, being in the jungle is definitely a positive for them. Kevin, give me your thoughts. Remember, we're not picking these games until the end of the show, but give me your thoughts on that game.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to see both of these teams play. I got to see Old Brook play against South Jones. I've talked about this before. Northeast Jones cannot overlook this Old Brook team. They just can't do it. The boys and the girls, both of these teams play fast. I would say they're not fundamentally sound as probably a Northeast Jones team is or a South Jones team is. But let me tell you, when you play an athletic team and a team that just wants to go, you could get behind quick and you don't even realize it.
And in soccer, if you get behind even by 1 goal, that could be catastrophic.
Yeah, because you know better than anybody that it's going to throw off your game plan.
Well, too, if you're the lesser team, and I'm not saying that Old Brook is the lesser team, but by seeding, it says that they are. But I think they're still a great team. But if you're the lesser team and you get that 1 goal, what you can do is you can drop back in that defensive posture. They call it parking the bus.
Yeah.
Where you pull everybody back. You've got 1 forward up front. That way, if you get a good counter, maybe you get a cheap goal that way. So that's why it's really important for them to protect and score that first goal and just go ahead and get out on a positive note.
Yeah. So that would be my analysis. I mean, I know it's simplified, but yeah, for both teams, for the boys and the girls, wear them down. Yeah. Wear them down a little bit. Force them to slow down. That's what South Jones did. This is a team on the boys' side. They forced them into OT. They got beat by Summerall, who Summerall is probably arguably the class of the field in that region in 5A. So, yeah, you just got to try to slow them down.
Good. You got it. I know you hadn't gotten to see them, but you've talked with the coach. So, I mean, what do you have any insights you want to add to these matchups?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, without having seen them play, I mean, all I can go off is, what you guys tell me, and then just the information that's out there on Max Preps. I think it does set up, without, making any predictions, I think all of these first-round matchups for our 3 county schools set things up really well for an opportunity to move forward. I'll just leave it at that.
I will say on the girls' side in the matchup, since we kind of hit both boys and girls on the girls' side of this matchup, Northeast Jones with that Garcia in goal, she is an X factor. They played a game recently against a team that I saw folks say this on social media, that they expected it to be a rout, that they weren't expecting to be competitive. She kept them in that game against a team that they felt was a better class than them. So she's an X factor. And again, I think if she gets hot, anything's possible for this Northeast Jones Lady Tigers team, the boys team we talked about a second ago. So I mean, Kevin, you've seen her play now too a couple of times. Am I crazy, or is she not one of the best goalies in the state?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, both Garcia girls. I mean, they live, eat, and breathe soccer when they're not eating donuts, right? They work the donuts off after whenever they play soccer. Yeah, both of those girls. I mean, they just gritty girls, and yeah, they could make a run very well.
And look, Garcia Donuts, if y'all ever want to cater us here on the sports show,
Hey, we can have a sponsor. We can put a little sponsor there.
I'll just take some kolaches.
Yeah, kolaches, maybe even one of their hamburgers, because they do make good burgers too. Free plug, but we also wouldn't mind.
I was just trying to keep it, a little bit on the cheaper side. The kolache would probably cost less, especially for the price of ground beef. But
definitely do.
You bring Jack a burger, me and Kevin will eat kolaches.
Kevin wants a ton of donuts.
I want their chicken tenders, baby. Chicken tenders.
But let's move on, because next we've got South Jones. Girls are facing Purvis. It is on the reservation. The boys, did I get that right? They're also facing Purvis, or did I mess that one up, Kev?
I don't know. I was over here having to move Guru's camera.
I'm checking it. So
some producer thing.
Talk about the girls matchup first, Kevin. Let me verify that.
This is a sneaky team.
Yeah, that's correct.
This is it's Purvis. Okay.
Yeah. Two teams playing this.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I can kind of talk about this one too, is both. Purvis, the girls they're sneaky. They upset Northeast and work themselves into the playoffs with that. Same way with the boys. I do think home field advantage is going to matter here. Again, I'm not making the picks, but I do think that. But it's just the Tornadoes are sneaky. They are sneaky. But I just think that kind of goes back to what I said with Old Brook. As long as South Jones plays fundamental, I love what the boys do. They're almost sometimes I think can be a little too unselfish at times. Tossing it around, but I think that again it kind of goes back to fundamentally South Jones is probably one of the better teams around here and around this area fundamentally that knows what they're doing, and I think that that's the one thing that gives them an advantage. And I think it's the same way with the girls. Obviously, South Jones, they have their power striker. Can never remember her name. I should just write it down on here. But she's really good. They're more probably player. I would say fundamentally they're more driven by those players and their striker on the girls' side. But the boys, man, they're just so well-rounded. And but Purvis can sneak up on them. Yeah. Don't think that they won't.
It's for me, when I saw the girls play, the Lady Braves play, it was in that game against Northeast, and they dominated the game, but they ran into that buzzsaw of goalie, and they ended up, I think, winning 2-1. But it was a game where it was played on the attacking side for South Jones pretty much the entire game.
Yeah.
What I saw was a team, and I can't even say that they weren't good at finishing, because I really think it was just the buzzsaw they ran into between the nets, because they got 2 goals when there was a substitution, and she came out for a little bit in the second half. That's when South was able to get those 2 goals and go on to victory. But again, you talk about sneaky teams. The playoffs matter, but I do think that being on the reservation is a big deal. The boys, I saw them so much earlier in it and haven't had a chance to go back. I'm really looking forward to seeing them in the playoffs. They still looked good, but they weren't as polished as what I saw last year. Kevin, have you seen them maybe, you said, and I think they were kind of like that last year, where sometimes maybe they're not looking for the shot as much as they should.
Yeah.
But do you think that they're a little bit more polished than what I saw, where they're communicating better, they're completing their passes better, because it was so early?
Yeah, I think that's mainly is what the case was. I feel like they're probably playing a whole lot better now. Obviously, between basketball and soccer, we've tried to make sure our coverage is balanced. But from everything that I gather, just talking to people and things like that, they seem to just be gelling more, and that's just what happens. I mean, it's just like we see with football, with basketball, whatever else. Takes a little time. You get back balanced, and I think this is a Braves team that's peaking, probably peaking at the right time where they want to be.
I know you hadn't seen them, but based on what you hear, do you think that you know sports, so you know if a team peaks at the right time, like we kind of think South might be? Do you think it's possible they could go on another run like they did last year?
Absolutely. I mean, when it comes down the stretch and it gets to playoff time, that's when you want to be playing your best ball. I mean, we saw that in football this past season with Laurel High School. They started the season 0-6 before getting into district play, lose their first district game, and then go on a 5-game run, hit the playoffs, make it all the way to South State. I mean, that's what it's about. Any coach in any sport will tell you the same thing. There's 3 seasons. There's the beginning of the year when you're not playing any district games. Then you have your district games. That's the second season. And then once you get to the playoffs, everything you've done up until that point really doesn't matter because you get to the playoffs and it's win or go home. And absolutely, I mean, because, one thing you got to factor in with a team like the Braves is the majority of those kids that are on this year's team were on last year's team. Yep. They know what it takes to get to where they were last year, and it would not be the least bit surprising to see them go back. I've seen it happen in Jones County, and, I mean, you can go tit for tat with saying last year's team overall might have been a better team than this year's team. And I've seen that. I remember it with West Jones girls soccer. I saw a team one year that actually had one of the top players in the state. They make it to the finals. They get beat. They graduate 7 or 8 seniors from that team. The next year they come back, they go to state, and they win state. And I think that experience and being a part of a playoff run like they had last year could prove very beneficial for this team moving forward.
And next, of course, and certainly not least, we've got the only 1 seed that we have because South is not a 1 seed. They're a 2 seed from my understanding. We've got West Jones girls. They are hosting Picayune, and then the boys are hosting Pascagoula. So it's the first matchup, too, where it's not boys and girls have the same matchup. So, again, this girls team, Kevin, they have been pretty good all season long.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything to indicate anything that makes you think they might slow up?
Yeah, if Oak Grove was in their region, because they lost Oak Grove 5-0. Boys did too. They lost Oak Grove 2-1. But those games, I know Coach Sullivan and Coach Reed would tell you that they matter, but in the grand scheme of things, they were not important. I mean, other than a blemish on the record, and then to see where you stand.
It kind of just gives you a barometer of where you stack up with a program that's much larger than yours, has much more talent pool to pull from. And I mean, to be totally honest, I mean, we all know from competing in sports throughout our lifetime, you always want to win anytime, no matter what sport it is.
Of course.
But at the same time, the non-district games, it's
well, let me ask this.
Almost a glorified scrimmage because
you don't want to get hurt.
You don't want to get hurt. You never want to lose, but at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt you.
Let me ask this of both of y'all, and Kevin, you can answer first. Sometimes when especially with the boys, because they were running on just the single loss to South Jones, can sometimes a late loss like this be exactly what because it reminds you not just that you can be beat, but how miserable it feels to be beat.
That I actually was going to feed off of that. I mean, they lost, from what I see on Match Preps, they lost 2-1. So they were obviously in that game.
Yeah.
And then if you want to make a dog hungry, put a steak in front of him, right? And you lose 2-1 against a larger opponent, but you're in that game the entire time, from what I understand, what I see, you're going to want to go through and make a statement from that point on. And same way with the girls.
Yeah.
Matt Reed, I've known him forever. I consider him a friend. He wants his girls to know that if you get your butts whooped, you better come up there and make a statement the next round. I mean, that's just the way it is. And those girls, I know, they feed off of what Coach Reed does, and they're going to want to do the same. So, losing 5-0 doesn't really mean much as far as the grand scheme of things, but it puts things into perspective that if we don't play 100%, we can be beat. With that said, the girls play Picayune. The boys play Pascagoula. On the boys' side, Pascagoula went through it to start the year. They were 0 for a while, slipping the playoffs. Picayune kind of the same way. Both of them have losing records. I don't want to, obviously pick, right? But
yeah, and I mean, I gotta know what you're kind of alluding to, and we've seen this over the years, and it typically when you have a 1 seed that's been very solid from start to finish, playing a team, and I hope I don't jinx either one of these, but they play a team that kind of just sneaks their way in, it usually doesn't bode well in the first round. Especially in soccer.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So West boys have only lost 2 games this year, right? And they've lost both of those games by 1 goal.
Yeah.
That's a remarkable season. I mean, wow, that's just something you kind of have to point out and you look back at and say this team is really solid. The girls are solid too, but that's just impressive.
With the girls, you look at how many shutouts they've had. The boys have had them too, but the girls have just been shutting people down. I mean, it is insane what they've been able to do.
Well, we may have teased by how much we've talked about once we get to our pick, because we are going to pick the first round playoff games, assuming they actually take place next week before our next show. But there are a couple of interesting sports news topics we're talking about. First and foremost, Robert Kraft has now joined Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame snub. So it's again, but we talked about Bill Belichick getting snubbed last week. To me, this is just as egregious. This is another example of these people that didn't vote for Robert Kraft should have their Hall of Fame vote pulled away from them. Kevin, what's your thought?
It's just idiotic, man. It's just idiotic. If and when Tom Brady, it's not even when Tom Brady is up for the ballot to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, if he is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, throw Canton out, burn Canton to the ground.
Yeah. And I don't think he will, based on what we're seeing.
Yeah.
The only thing there, though, and we talked about this a little bit, and I mean, hell, they don't even publish how the 50 voters voted, which I think is BS.
I agree.
But there is a strong possibility that in some form or fashion, Belichick supporters, Kraft supporters, anti-supporters of either kind of took away, because I'm sure there were not a ton of ballots that listed both Kraft and Belichick as 2 of their 3 picks.
But wasn't Kraft's vote separate from Belichick's, and that's why we're just finding out about it?
Not from my understanding. Okay. It's not. I could be wrong on that, but from the things that I've seen, that was one talking point by one of the, super great sports media heads, and
it's still stupid.
It's dumb.
It goes beyond dumb. I mean, Kraft is, the guy that bought the franchise. He's the one that brought Belichick in. I mean, Belichick's the one that drafted Brady. I mean, it's stair steps.
I'm telling you, I will go scorched earth if we're sitting here in the studio and Tom Brady's not a first ballot.
I'll drive you.
Yeah.
And
I think we're all on board with that.
Provide the torch. I'll light the torch, and I'll provide cover fire until you get that son of a gun burnt.
Well, it's pointless at that. I mean, it's absurd. They earned it. Put them in. Quit being so self-righteous. You're just refusing to.
Well, let's throw this one thing out there. The stat I told you guys about. Before Kraft bought the Patriots franchise, they had played 34 seasons in the NFL and had won a combined 225 games. Mm-hmm. In the 32 seasons that Kraft has owned the team, they've won 324 games in 2 less years.
Wow. It's crazy.
Almost 100 more wins. No, almost 150 more wins in 2 years fewer.
Not counting the Super Bowls.
But
Not
no,
counting the Super Bowls.
No, he shouldn't be a first ballot Hall of Famer. No, he shouldn't be. Stupid.
And the coach that was the mastermind behind, what is it, including playoffs, 333 wins for New England, is the same coach that got snubbed as well.
Yep. Well, last week we talked about and we picked the Bruins Lightning outdoor game. Of course, Kevin rolled his eyes at it, but he's the one who got the pick right because we both picked the Bruins. But it was a heck of a game. Bruins got out to a quick 5-0 or 5-1?
They got up as much as 5-1 before the Lightning scored in the second period to make it 5-2 before it went to the third period, and
where the Bruins just couldn't stop getting it, throw it in the penalty box, and the comeback happened. But the game was so incredible because it had everything. It had the fast and furious comeback. It had a goalie fight. Now, Kevin, I know you don't follow. Goalie fights are very, very rare. I think they said this is the first one since 2016. But you had the goalie square off at center. I mean, it was great. Then you had overtime, and then because nobody scored in overtime, it went to a shootout. Incredible game, Guru. I mean, it's one of the best that we have seen, Guru. So what did you think of the game?
I mean, throughout our talks over the past year, coming into this hockey season, my partaking of the sport was very limited. There was a time there when I would watch Ovechkin in his prime and the Capitals. That was my team for a while. I had a good buddy that I grew up with here in Laurel who lives in D.C. now, and he's a season ticket holder, and would see him posting stuff on social media from the games and stuff. And this has been years ago, but I followed it a little bit then, really. But in the last month, I've watched more hockey than I probably have in my entire previous 48 years of life.
It can get addictive.
It can, and especially when your significant other has a app where she can place wagers on set events and get you really. I was watching hockey last night before I went on the route, dude.
I've listened to hockey on the route.
We're high-fiving because we were watching the Lightning. It was part of a four-team parlay, and they were down. They scored with 14.4 seconds in overtime to win. We're high-fiving, and damn you, Edmonton Oilers. We had the first three right, and you guys screwed the pooch. But that Bruins Lightning game, I mean, I wish that, more people from the South in general would have tuned in, because if you watch that from start to finish, and I'll tell you, and Jack can attest to this, watching hockey on TV can be very difficult, especially when they get inside the crease, and it's hard to tell a lot of times when they actually score a goal because the puck's moving so fast. In the game last night when the Lightning hit their tying goal, my boy, I can't remember his name. What was his daggum name? Kucherov.
Yeah, Kucherov.
He hit the game tying shot, and it was a 95-mile-per-hour shot. And I mean, in person, watching hockey
is incredible.
Is so much, because you can actually follow the puck. It's just different even in this day and age when we have
learn how to follow the puck on TV the more you watch it.
Well, yeah, it's just even in this day and age when we have such high quality TVs. I mean, the puck is so small. Yeah. Even on a 65-inch TV in my living room, I mean, the puck is like smaller than the tip of that pin. But great game, great atmosphere. The beginning between the Bruins Lightning, that little whatever ode to pirates and stuff, that was kind of
that was corny, but I did like
a little
how
bit over the top.
I did like the Lightning showing up to the stadium in full pads in the Buccaneers creamsicle uniform.
I did too, but they made a point after the game that
Script.
they really wanted, would have rather to do something similar to what Boston did, as the Boston guys came dressed as not New England Patriots, but as actual old school Patriots, that they would have liked to have come dressed as Pirates, which would have been cooler. But it was fun all the way around. I think the NHL and Navy Federal Credit Union, who sponsors the outdoor hockey
Stadium Series,
hit a,
and
I would say a home run, but that's the wrong sport, I guess.
And we were critical of it being in Florida. Still not a fan of playing the outdoor games in Florida, but
they got lucky on that one. But they had perfect weather.
I mean, it was a great spectacle. And Kevin's going to get Guru back here in just a second.
Go ahead and give it to him now.
Don't worry.
Just do it now.
So I mean, great game. But Kevin, your passion was this weekend, where there was one of his passions. Don't worry, Guru. I'm gonna let him, when it gets Daytona 500 week, I'm gonna let him bore you with that one.
Oh, they're racing today, baby.
But the Royal Rumble from the WWE was this weekend, and Kevin is a big fan. The only thing I know about it is apparently, Kevin, why was it in Saudi Arabia?
They love money.
Who loves money? Because the stadium was empty.
The stadium wasn't empty. They had lights going all the way down, and you couldn't see the people. And the people were so ticked off by the lights that they literally just got up. They were so ticked off about the lights going all the way, because it was like right there on their seat that they're looking, like the light is just constantly like there.
They probably didn't want them to be able to read the scripts.
It is what it is. R.I.P. to my boy AJ Styles. He got retired. Gunther.
Wait, that's Guru's favorite guy. He loves AJ Styles, don't you?
Isn't he a closer for the Orioles?
Yeah. He got retired by Gunther.
All right, I'm gonna mute Guru so that way Kevin can go through his Rumble.
2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row he got muted. But no, I was 2 for 2. I said Liv Morgan and Roman Reigns would win the Royal Rumbles. Both of them won. Liv Morgan, she knocked out Tiffany Stratton.
You got a copy of the script.
and then Roman Reigns won. I can't even remember who he knocked out at the end. But Roman,
was it the Macho Man?
Oh,
Did he at least get
it was Gunther, actually. He actually knocked out Gunther, because Gunther entered number 30. Yeah, it was a good show overall. The following, or 2 days later, on Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns is going to challenge CM Punk at WrestleMania. Pretty much a dream match for a lot of people. Yeah, it was a really good show, I thought. Don't like it being in Saudi. It's just dumb. I didn't like watching the Rumble at like 12 o'clock at noon.
Now, I also heard, because one of the things that has always made the Royal Rumble a little bit more interesting than some of the others, because they usually have big surprises. Yeah. I read somewhere that they didn't have that many surprises, probably because they did it in Saudi Arabia.
Right,
they wouldn't be able to hide them.
Yeah, they really didn't have any surprises for either one. That was a letdown.
You can't hide in Saudi Arabia? I think that's
you can't
not
hide.
True.
You can't hide the flight.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the one thing that I was badly wrong on was I said that Chris Jericho would come back. He didn't come back. But yeah, it was fine. It was like I said, a good show. But I just don't like watching wrestling.
It's a good show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Now, have we had any progress on yours or Guru's match?
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I posted a clip on social media. This clip's going on social media. I said, bring on Guru, Flying Brian, whoever. And the SWA, there are a section of the SWA community that they were not too happy with Guru's comments.
Of course
they were not too happy.
He was disrespectful.
Yeah, he was very disrespectful.
I've had it read to me.
He was very disrespectful, and I'm just going to keep throwing out the challenge. Guru says it's fake. I say he takes a couple of chops. I think if he upsets the community enough.
I'm not here to apologize for my comments. What I want to say is using the term fake was misconstrued. No, I'm being dead serious here. It's scripted. When I say fake, I don't mean that people aren't getting really hit, that people aren't suffering injuries. I've watched wrestling not so much in the last 15 years, but from the time I was 8 years old until my mid-20s, I watched wrestling. I knew it was fake from the standpoint that it's scripted, that it's not a football game when you don't know what the hell's going to happen on any play. Okay. You guys know what's going to go on. Yes, there is extreme contact. Yes, you guys are athletes. Yes, I get it, but I still don't like it. That's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it.
Well, here's the other thing that I found interesting on those comments, that Kevin was catching, he was catching strays, and he was taking up for it.
I'll say this. And
So I think you should go ahead and challenge that match.
I'm going to say this, and we'll end the clip on this. Don't, like other people have said, don't work yourself into a shoot, brother. Because that's what happened, is some people got probably a little offended, and they worked themselves into a shoot. I understand what Guru's saying. I've got a buddy of mine. He does not hold the opinion that Guru does. He's just like his fate. Every bit of his fate. I'm like, dude, it's not like, you can't chop somebody in the chest and see a red mark. And
you see the bruise.
He's like, dude, it's fake. They just put something on there. I'm like, no, they don't. They don't. But yeah, it's funny. But I'm still there. Look, I'll come up there and I'll take pictures of you or whatever. But yeah, it is whatever. I didn't realize Guru was going to catch flag. Didn't realize I was going to catch flag.
I don't care. Do you think that's the first time I've ever caught flag?
Look, we've had some bold opinions on this show, and we said
It's the wrestling.
It's the wrestling opinion.
Hold on.
It's taboo for me. It's cows. It's wrestling.
Wrestling. This isn't wrestling. Wrestling they do up at northern high schools and universities. They even have it as an Olympic sport. It's Greco-Roman wrestling. We just talking about wrestling down here in the South, son.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Well, Guru, real quick, we got the Super Bowl this weekend. We've got the Seahawks playing the Patriots. What do you think? And we're going to pick this game at the end. It will be the final pick. But Guru, give us kind of a preview. What are you expecting out of this matchup?
This is one that I don't think. I mean, I've seen some very obscure preseason bets that were placed by people when, I mean, nobody expected either one of these teams to be in the Super Bowl. The Patriots were coming off back-to-back 3-14 seasons. They have a brand new first-year head coach,
Mike Vrabel,
and Vrabel, V, not a G. And then, Seattle, even though Sam Darnold did extremely well in Minnesota in the 2024 season, I mean, he was brought over to Seattle kind of just to be, I think their original thought was just to have him as kind of a gap filler. Just to get, I would guesstimate that they were thinking, we might be a playoff type contender if this goes this way and this goes that way. And worst case scenario, we're able to pick up, with a mid to 20-ish first round pick, a college quarterback that can come in and be under Darnold for a couple of seasons and then take over the reins. I mean, I would call them all liars if those guys up in there thought that coming into this year that they were going to finish 14-3 and win the conference. And I mean, everybody's goal is to make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, even the Saints' goal is to make it to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's going to be a minute. But it's a 4.5 point spread in favor of the Seahawks. I think that's pretty much held since the game was decided 2 weekends ago, and it's a very interesting matchup when you have a quarterback like Drake May in his second season there in New England. I mean, every time I've watched him play over the last 6 weeks, 2 months, you're hearing chants for MVP, which he might end up winning. I don't know. The style offensively kind of leans a little bit better towards the Seahawks. Both teams are really solid defensively. And if you don't know about it, go look it up. For New England, the Patriots defense, their moniker is Warriors Come Out and Play. And they're very legit defense as well. I mean, this This is going to be one of the better matchups. It's a rematch from what, 2014, 2016, one of those years.
2015.
15. See, I was right around it. When the infamous play call from Pete Carroll
Butler
and the Seahawks and Mississippi's own Malcolm Butler intercepted a pass at the goal line, and one of the dumbest calls in football history, let alone the Super Bowl, when you got beast mode at running back and all you have to do is get a yard and win the championship.
made no sense.
Pete Carroll probably still has nightmares about that. But yes, I think this is going to be one of those Super Bowls that's probably going to come down to the last possession, going to be one of the better Super Bowls that we've seen in the last 15, 20 years.
And of course, if it's not, maybe the ads will be good this year.
That and also I almost let it slip by. Make sure you tune in and watch 6-7 on that offensive line for the Seahawks. Shout out to Laurel's own Charles Cross.
See, I thought you were saving it for when we got to the picks, but that's the only reason why I didn't bring them up. But yeah, it's exciting to have second year in a row that we have a local person in the Super Bowl. So it's very, very exciting. Now, we'll give more thoughts when we get to the picks, but Guru, I know that you want to kind of tease once again this Saturday edition of the sports section in the Laurel Leader Call. We're not going to get into previewing the baseball games yet, but tell them about the section there in sports section this week.
Yeah, the three of us went out this week and met with the coaches and players at our Jones County High School baseball and softball teams, and that'll be our interviews and photos that were taken will appear in this Saturday's edition. So even if you don't have a kid that plays baseball or softball, if you enjoy either of those sports, I would highly recommend that you pick it up and get a little bit of info on all the outstanding young athletes we have playing in both of those sports. And yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Pick up the Saturday edition. If you're an online subscriber, it'll be up late Friday afternoon, and you can check it out. And then next week we'll get into a little more in-depth discussion about what we previewed in the paper.
And you and I are both planning on going to, I don't know if it's not called a jamboree, but the opener games that they're playing this weekend at Jones College. So that's going to be exciting to be able to actually get to see live baseball. So it'll give us a little bit more to talk about too, because we'll have seen them on the field. So we'll get into that. Now, the wild card question is going to be pretty simple this time. It's not one that you guys have to stress about. It's not going to be Guru, is wrestling real type question. The wild card question is simple, Super Bowl related. Of course, I know y'all have seen the controversy over the artist that they chose to be the halftime show. Are you going to watch the halftime show to see if it's as bad as people think, or were you going to change away from it anyway? And if you are you going to change to the Turning Point USA halftime show? I don't have any interest in watching either, but I probably was going to change from the Super Bowl halftime show, regardless who the performer was, because I think it's a waste of time. I'm not watching to watch these people get on a stage that slows down my football game. Do away with the halftime show altogether, and let's get back to the freaking game and why we turned it on in the first place. Kevin.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. I want to watch it just to see what happens, basically. Probably not going to watch the Turning Point halftime show, but I'll definitely tune in, see what Bad Bunny does. Worldwide star, most streamed Spotify artist. I mean, to me, it's a slam dunk. The only thing that could have gotten better, and you're fixing to mute me, is if it was Taylor Swift.
He got muted before he said the name.
Yeah, I'm going to tune into it as well. I mean, it's with all the hoopla that's surrounded it since Bad Bunny was announced as the performer for the halftime show. I've listened to a little bit of his music, and I mean, there's some good stuff there. I mean, he's not Tay-Tay good, and she should have been there.
All right, now Guru's muted. What are you doing, Go ahead.
I mean, honestly, realistically, his love affair for Taylor Swift is different.
Oh, she would have been a better choice.
But she should have been, with releasing a new album and everything. And it just, I mean, all the talk with her and with her time spent with NFL Kansas City Chief Travis Kelce, their relationship, it was a no-brainer. I was kind of actually stunned when she wasn't. But, I mean, you know, with all the crap that's been talked about with Bad Bunny and what he does or doesn't represent, I mean, this is the land of the free. And, I mean, good for him. I mean, like Kevin said, one of the biggest listened to artists on Spotify.
I do like Lee Brice though. Probably
but do away with the halftime show altogether.
No,
Get back to the game.
No.
That's why I'm not turning it on to watch a Bad Bunny concert.
Bro, if you
I want football.
Dude,
well, we all want football, but they have to have a break. And
Yeah,
I mean,
you do the same break you normally do.
no
Instead of
shot.
extending it.
if you do away with the halftime show, then you do away with all the news, funny, silly, stupid commercials too, because that's two of the things that are sideshows that bring the non-football fans into this event.
There's no way you can
And they don't become football fans afterwards.
Yeah, but you still get more eyes.
There's no way you can say abolish the halftime show.
I said it.
When you had Prince performing Purple Rain in the rain, when you had MJ had to hold his pose for like 5 minutes, it felt like, because the crowd was going crazy.
How about let them perform before the game? I mean,
They're doing
I don't like the 20, 30-minute halftime. I want them to get back to the action. It's that simple.
Give me
the boob flop.
Give me the spectacle.
Oh, goodness. Well, there you have it. And we'll get into our picks now. For college basketball, we're not doing as many, but the first game on here, probably the biggest rivalry in college basketball, without a doubt.
One of the biggest rivalry in sports.
Yeah, without it. I mean, it's just one of those games. I don't care if you're a Duke fan. I don't care if you're a North Carolina fan. If you hate both of them, you're probably going to turn this game on just because it's that the matchups are always that good. You've got number 4 Duke traveling to number 14 North Carolina. Should be a classic once again. I'm going to let my bias here lean. I'm going with number 4 Duke. I'm picking the Blue Devils. I know it's at North Carolina, so I'm probably going to get burned. Give me the Blue Devils.
Give me the Tar Heels, baby. Like I said, best player to ever walk through North Carolina.
James Worthy.
Tyler Hansborough.
Oh, that's right. Hansborough. And the bloody nose in the Duke game.
It was an incredible game.
I mean, people want to, call this or that the best rivalry in sports. And one that goes to, in my mind, they always talk about is Red Sox Yankees. They play like 15 times a year. I mean, yeah, it's a great rivalry. The Iron Bowl is up there. They only get to play it one time a year.
Yep.
But in what other rivalry, and especially when the game features two teams like it does right now in the top 15, give me another rivalry in sports where you have people, when the game is played at Cameron Indoor Stadium at Duke, that camp out on the grounds for sometimes more than a week at a time, rotate who stays in the tent to keep their spot so this kid and this kid can go to class while Johnny Lee sits in the tent for, and they do it. And I mean, Coach Krzyzewski, when he was there, would bring buttloads of pizzas out there for them and stuff. And they'd done it in sub-freezing temperatures.
And the two schools are right next to each other.
They're like 9 miles apart down Tobacco Road.
Wasn't it at one point they were tied in record, tied in points? Like, it was just like
I think that was before the first game last year, maybe.
And that's what makes this game so hard to pick, because they are two even programs.
Well, and when they're both on, kind of equal footing like they are right now, it makes it more exciting. I mean, and this is a rivalry game. I mean, they could both be 0-21 going into this game, and it would still matter, and the stands would still be packed, and it would still be a primetime matchup. Duke has Cameron Boozer, who's going to be a one and done. He's going to be most likely a top 10, if not top 5 pick, son of former Duke standout Carlos Boozer, who had a really solid NBA career. Kid's been lighting it up. He's fun to watch. I've always been a North Carolina guy. The Tar Heels started off kind of slow this year. They were at one point outside of the top 25, but they've really gotten things together the last couple of weeks. I mean, this is a coin flip. I mean, I'm not picking Duke because, you know what, Duke. I mean, I'm Tar Heels all the way, through thick and thin to the end.
That's what makes this matchup fun because, I mean, you pick sometimes just based on your bias for the game.
No, I mean, okay. it doesn't matter. Duke could be 21-0 and Carolina's 0-21. I'm still picking Carolina because I hate Duke.
All right, next matchup, our next couple of college basketball games, we'll go to our in-state schools. Number 21, Arkansas, traveling to Starkville, taking on Mississippi State. Sorry, State, Arkansas, and Calipari are going to be too much for you. Give me the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I'm taking the Razorbacks in this one too.
This one's going to be a catch-22 for me. This one, I've watched quite a few state games. I've actually, over the last couple of weeks, seen Arkansas play a couple of times. Arkansas can, they can shoot lights out at times, but if they go cold, this is how I'm going to pick it. If Josh Hubbard scores more than 20 points for Mississippi State, the Dogs pull the upset off at home. If Hubbard goes under 20, Calipari and Arkansas get the win.
I can go with that. I can agree with that.
Next, we've got Ole Miss traveling to Texas. I don't think either of the teams are stellar. This Ole Miss team, when I've watched them, they're a pretty scrappy team. Again, last week I was almost all home teams. This week I'm going with my third straight road team. I think Ole Miss is going to go up to Austin and shock the Longhorns.
Mississippi State's already done it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Jack. I'm taking Ole Miss in this one. Coach facing off with his former team. I'm going with the Rebs.
Ole Miss got waylaid Tuesday night. And I'm not going to say they're going to get waylaid, but they're not going into Austin and getting a win. Give me the Longhorns.
And
all right.
Of course, next we've got Kent State traveling to Hattiesburg to take on USM. USM, of course, had a 5-game losing streak that they were able to snap over the weekend. It's in Hattiesburg. I don't know how much that matters for USM these days.
0.
This is a tough one for me. Give me USM. I don't feel good about it, but give me USM.
I didn't ask Davey if he was bringing the 12 fans with him or not. I'm not sold on USM.
I'm not either.
Kent State.
And when I looked at this sheet and I saw Kent State, I was like, I wonder if Jack meant to type KENN, like for Kennesaw State instead. But then I looked it up, and this weekend they're actually doing the Sun Belt MAC Challenge. So all the teams in the Sun Belt Conference are playing MAC opponents, which the Mid-American Conference, which Kent State's in, and they're 17-4 overall, and they're tied for second in the MAC, and they're going to come down and put a smack down on the Golden Eagles. They win by 17+.
All right, now we'll get into the first round of the girls' high school playoffs. We're going to start with Hattiesburg at Hancock. To me, I think those coast teams are always tough. Hattiesburg kind of squeaked into the playoffs, so give me Hancock to win this one.
Give me all of the home team.
That's pretty much what I think we're all going to do. But we kind of previewed them. But
Jack doesn't know what to do.
No, we're going to go through them, Kevin, because I'm going to make you go through them.
Hancock 11-0. There you go.
Old Brook at Northeast Jones. Hey, we know we're picking the home team. Give me Northeast Jones.
Yeah, I'm taking Northeast Jones in a closer one than what they want it to be.
Yeah, I think this is going to, I agree with Kevin, a little bit closer. Might be a 2-goal game, but Northeast Jones girls get it done.
Purvis at South Jones. I think the Lady Braves take care of business here in the first round.
Same. I think Purvis might get a goal on them. I think. But South Jones wins.
Yeah, I think this is about a 4-1, 5-1 game, but the Lady Braves protect the reservation and move on.
Picayune at West Jones. I think that the Lady Mustangs are going to mercy rule them. Give me the Lady Mustangs.
Yep, same.
Agreed.
Now we go to the boys' playoffs. And once again, we'll start with Hattiesburg at Gaucher. Again, coast team, home team. I think they're going to win this one.
Big rivalry game here, but Gaucher takes it.
That's a different sport. That's a different sport, Kev. Different coach.
Maybe he coaches soccer too. Maybe he coaches baseball and everything. Give me Gautier.
Once again, Old Brook at Northeast Jones. Again, I think the home team, I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a tight, close game, but I think the Tigers will be too much at home.
Same. I'm going to say 3-1 in this game.
Yeah, I was going to say this is probably going to be, in my guesstimation, probably the closest game of the 8 that we have on here, but the Tigers protect their home field in advance.
And once again, we got Purvis at Sal Jones just on the boys' side this time. I think Sal Jones, we talked about it, they're peaking at the right time. I think they're primed for a deep run in these playoffs. I don't see them dropping at home.
I just can't see them dropping this one on.
Yeah, this would be a pretty big upset if Purvis were to twirl their way into the reservation and leave with a victory. Better luck next year, Tornadoes. Chop all the way.
Next, we've got Pascagoula traveling to West Jones to take on the Mustangs. Mustangs, I think they got humbled in that 2-1 loss, but I think that is going to be a motivator for them. I think they're going to roll in this one. Give me the Mustangs at home to protect home field.
Fly the W, baby.
Agreed 100%. This will be another mercy rule game. Mustangs, big.
Like, I'm looking forward to it.
Huge. It's going to be huge.
Huge. We're going to put them on the island.
Oh, goodness.
Epstein?
You're not supposed to. Look, now we're going to get demonetized.
They're going to take over Graveland.
Oh, goodness. Now it comes time for us to pick the Super Bowl.
You mean the big game?
Super Bowl. We're not monetized,
Oh, wait a
so we
minute.
can get away
That's
with it.
This is not in print. We can say Super Bowl. All we want, Super Bowl 60, Super Bowl LX.
Is it really 60?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. The NFL guy missed out.
Yeah. You know, you got the Seahawks versus the Patriots. It's a tough game to pick, just because, as Guru said when he was previewing it, nobody expected either team to be here. It's probably the least excited I've been about a matchup, which tells me it probably will be a great game. Patriots, they know how to win Super Bowls, but that was with Belichick. That was with Brady. This is a new core of guys. I think the Seahawks are going to get them this time. So give me Seattle to win their second Super Bowl.
Their second Super Bowl. Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, it's the second coming of Brady, baby. Drake May. I'm all behind it. Give me the Patriots in a close one.
I don't hate the pick at all. I mean, it's a tough game to pick.
No, I mean, either way, one of y'all is going to be correct. Coach Vrabel played on the first New England team to win the Super Bowl in 2001. That was also the last time the Patriots were underdogs going into the Super Bowl like they are this year. They won it that first time, but they're not going to win it this time. Charles Cross is going to protect the line. That offense for Seattle is going to get out to a fast start against a good New England defense. May's going to have his time to shine, and he's going to bring the Patriots back. Comes down to a late drive, one way or the other, with Darnold or May making a play to win the game, or making a play that loses the game. But in the end, I'm going to stay with the Seahawks to get Super Bowl number 2.
I really should pick the Seahawks, honestly, because mid-tier quarterbacks have been the Patriots' kryptonite.
That's fair. It's very fair. But I'm glad you didn't, because after we all picked the same teams in the soccer playoffs, I'm now very, very concerned for our local teams. So I hope that we didn't jinx all of them. But
it's too much power on the pitch for the Jones counties.
And soccer's just, I mean, y'all know it from Jack from playing it, me and Kevin from covering it. The first round games, man, when
it's like baseball,
it's
well, when I played,
it's so hard because when you have the 4s coming up to the 1s, and we talked about it earlier in the show, there's a huge gap in that sport.
When I played, it wasn't like like that, because there was
we
no
only had 2
classification.
teams.
You know?
Well, yeah, you didn't have classification
Yeah.
because there weren't there's maybe 50.
So, I mean, I remember one year when we made a run to the state championship, we were in a shootout in the first round, and it was a great game against a team we thought we were just going to roll over, so you knew it was going to be competitive once the playoffs started all the way through, just because it was a different era. There weren't as many programs.
From covering local sports here, I cannot recall covering a first round soccer match when one of our teams was a 1 seed and it wasn't just a sheer blowout. I just can't. I mean, there might have been a 5-0 game, something like that, but I just don't remember an actual close match ever.
I think both of the first round games I covered last year were mercy rules, if I'm remembering correctly. One could have been on the verge of the mercy rule and not get, but I want to say both of them were mercy rule wins in the first round. So the first round is a little bit easier to do that with. Once you advance, it gets a lot harder, though.
Oh yeah, second round, all bets are off pretty much.
Yep. So, Kevin, do you want to issue one last challenge to a wrestler out there that got mad at you because of something Guru said?
Because I defended. No, you just got worked into a shoot, brother.
And he will meet you in the ring. That's Kevan Lindsey.
The camera clutch, baby.
He's willing to put you down. Guru is manager. I don't think he likes Guru as his manager.
I'm gonna cut him. Jack's gonna throw in the towel.
We already read the script.
Spoiler alert.
Anyway.
Oh, guys, this has been the Laurel Leader Call Sports Show. I'm your host, Jack Fairchilds, alongside Kevan Lindsey and our good friend Josh Guru Nichols. We'll see you guys again next week.
Bad Bunny, yo.